sea scallops. When done right, it'll set the mood for a perfect evening. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's chop it up. So first things first, let's go ahead and take our Brussels sprouts and cut the bottoms off. After that, you go ahead and just peel away the petals. You could be like, she loves me not if you want. If you get stuck, just slice another sliver off and then peel away. After you get this done, you start slicing a little baby bell pepper. I use a baby bell pepper for aesthetics. You could use a red bell pepper if you don't have it. Now let's work on the potato. Pro tip, just cut the bottom off and you have a base to go ahead and make slices without the potato slipping everywhere. Then turn them and stack them and then slice away in equal portions. Now go ahead and turn them and you're gonna make little squares. This will help everything cook at the same time. Next, we're gonna do the onions and garlic. Here's a cool trick with a knife. What you're gonna do is you're gonna rock your right hand loosely and then support the top of the blade with the left hand. And this will give that rocking motion when you chop. So next is the bacon. Just go ahead and cut it in half and stack it. As you notice, I like to stack what I'm cutting. It makes the job faster and easier. So get your pan on medium-high heat and go ahead and add your bacon. Now stir if you have to. It won't stick at all because what's going to happen is the fat is going to render out the bacon, leaving it crispy. And this is a process that we're doing. Make sure to adjust the heat if you have to. Now just take the bacon out. We're going to use the same oil to cook the potatoes. Healthy, right? Season our potatoes with pepper and salt. But remember, go easy on the salt because the bacon will be salty already. So the main thing when cooking potatoes, just make sure all sides cook evenly and try it if you have to see if it's done. Once it's like almost there, just add your peppers. And then saute them real quick. These will go fast. One thing to know, I'm cooking ingredients with the longest cooking times first. This will make sure all your ingredients cook perfectly. Next, adding your corn, and then go ahead and give it a quick saute, and then add your onions and garlic. So once your onion and garlic starts to get translucent, go ahead and add your tarragon. Just remember, no seeds, no stems. Squirt that lemon right on there. And if you want it more sour, add more lemon. As a chef, you always have to taste your food. You have to taste the seasoning. You have to check the doneness before it touches a plate. Now let's season the water for our Brussels sprouts. This will help keep them green. These will go fairly quickly, like 20-30 seconds. This will keep it a little firm and also keep the color. Time for the main event, the scallops. Dry them on a paper towel. This will take off all excess moisture, which would give you a perfect sear when it hits the pan. Now how to clean scallops. Pull off the abductor muscle. This would get very hard when you cook it, as opposed to the adductor muscle, which is actually the part we eat. Season your scallops with the salt falling from the heavens and make sure to rotate them. Don't over-season, as seafood is already salty because it comes from the ocean. Now let's do the same thing with the pepper, rotating it so all sides are seasoned with the black pepper. People often use white pepper as well, especially with scallops or any white fish, but I like black pepper, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. At the same time, get your pan hot like me and lube it up with some olive oil. I use olive oil because it has a higher smoke point and doesn't burn when searing the scallops. When your oil gets up to temp, go ahead and add your scallops. Now here's a delicate balance of heat. If it's too hot, turn it down a little bit, but you still need it hot enough to sear. Don't fidget or don't move it around. Go ahead and add some butter. This is totally optional. You could definitely cook scallops without butter, but in the restaurant, this is how we cook it for our guests. When the butter starts to melt, you could go ahead and start basting it on top of the scallops. This will help cook the other side of the scallops. As you can see, I haven't moved my scallops because what we're doing right now is we're creating a nice, beautiful crust, a nice golden brown on the bottom. And then keep your eye at the bottom because it'll start turning white. And as it creeps up to the center, you'll know it's time to flip. I generally like my medium rare, so I do about a minute or so each side. And then repeat the same step for the other side, basting the butter on the top, adding that flavor. Generally like to keep the scallop around the same size as when I put in the pan. If you see it shrinking and shrinking, that means you're overcooking it. You might want to check one. When they're done, I take the scallops off the heat and rest them on a plate. One thing to note, the scallops I'm using are sea scallops and they're U10. That means there's about 10 scallops per pound. And I only go to my fresh local seafood market to get them. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment below and hit that like and subscribe button.